Hey, what's up everybody? So now let's get down to some serious business. We're gonna discuss now today what F1 can do to become even more exciting. Because as we've seen, I mean, of course there's super exciting races, but there's still the occasional boring one. And I think therefore F1 can definitely still improve to become even better. So here's my points, starting with first point, aerodynamics. As we know, that's a huge topic. At the moment, when you're driving behind somebody, you lose 50% of your aerodynamics. So it's impossible to get close, and then of course also impossible to overtake. So this is really crucial, such an important matter. New regulations coming for 2021, and there I spoke to Ross Brawn and his employees. They have managed to come up with a regulation which will result in only 5% loss. So you're stuck in the gearbox of the guy in front, you lose only 5% of your aerodynamics, and therefore only 5% of your grip. And this will allow you, if you're a little bit faster, to really stick behind and go for the overtake. And that's what we want to see. That's why MotoGP sometimes is more exciting, because there's just so many overtakes, so much going on. And this is what Formula One can and should improve. And therefore, with this new regulation, I think there's going to be a lot more overtaking, more excitement. So this is really perfect. I would even add one more little bit more extreme idea into that, and that's active ride. Because the best way to compensate for aerodynamic loss is by dropping the ride height. It's the easiest way, best way. So what do, you get everybody to start with a little bit elevated ride heights, like 1 centimeter, and it needs to be regulated and controlled. And then the car can sense aerodynamic loss actively all the time, because you've got the sensors and it exactly knows, okay, I'm now in the slipstream, I've lost 10% of my downforce. And so then actively the ride will compensate for that loss at all times very fast. So at all times your aerodynamics will nominally be exactly the same. And I think that's awesome, because then driving behind is no disadvantage. You always keep your nominal downforce so that you're at no disadvantage driving behind. And if you're faster, you can just go up into the gearbox, pass, give it a pass, fight. I think that would be perfect. And I think that would be a beautiful solution. And that's my recommendation to Formula One, to check that out. Now, point two. Point two is about costs. At the moment, the top teams are spending like 400 million euros, 450 million euros, and the small teams 150. So it's like a huge discrepancy, massive. And I think it's just too much importance put on the budget that you have. So I think it's a great idea to put in some cost cutting. At the moment, the proposed limit is like 175 million, which certainly is very aggressive when you look at the budgets that currently the top teams are spending. And that will require even a lot of job losses and everything, which of course, that's painful, that's not great. But some kind of a cost cutting is the way to go. It's difficult to police, because some of the top engineers already said, but then we're just going to be developing the suspension, and we're going to say that it's being developed for a road car that we're doing, but in actual fact, we're using most of the learnings for the F1 car. It's almost impossible to police that. However, I hope that they do find a way, because it's definitely the way to give smaller teams the opportunity long term to also, when they do an awesome job, have the opportunity to land on a podium or even the occasional race win. I think that would be great, and it would add to some unpredictability for the sport, which is definitely what we need. Point three, this one is going to be a little bit discussed. I would like to see refueling again. And why do I want to see that? So that the drivers out there can be flat out all the way, because at the moment, especially in the beginning of the race, the cars are like trucks to drive. When you have 150 kilograms of fuel in the back, it's like 3 seconds off the pace, which is A, not tough physically, B, it's not really fun for the drivers. So refueling in again to get lighter cars all the way, and this big massive push attack all the way. And then at the end of the races, we'll see drivers really struggling physically. That's what we want, to see them on the limits. And then also I think the enthusiasm from the drivers will come across very infectiously for all of us to enjoy the racing more. Of course, in this matter, it's very important to keep an eye on the safety, because the refueling will stop because of safety issues. But I think with today's sensors, it must be possible to sort that out 100%. So sensors in the front of the fueling hose. As soon as the fueling hose is in properly, only then does the fuel start flowing. If it's not in properly, the fuel does not flow. When it's in properly, the driver is not able to drive away. The engine, like whatever it is in the car, it is blocked. You cannot leave when the sensors show that the fuel hose is in position. And only when the fuel is completely disengaged can the driver go. I think this is definitely possible and would improve the safety, and we would see very exciting action out there. Point four is the tires. Pirelli, so crucial to make exciting racing. When there's unpredictability from the tires, and the teams are not able to perfectly calculate strategy and whatever is expected in the race. So it's like, do we go medium, do we go soft, 2-stop, 3-stop? That's when we see great things happening out on track, and that's what we need to have on every single race. So I think a little bit more effort from Pirelli, from Formula One, to position the tires and everything more accurately on every single weekend, because we have great races, but then we have other races like Le Castellet, where it's just an easy one-stop race. And everybody knows you have to go on the medium, then you have to go on the hard, the tires will easily last, no problem. That just makes it too easy and removes a lot of excitement. So I think there's a little bit of work to be done there to position the tires perfectly from one track to another. And then just as an outtake, the last part is going to be, because we also discuss that very often, what if everybody had the same car? Who would win? So at this point, please give me your 1, 2, 3. Who would win if everybody had the same car? I'm going to give you mine too. Please also thumbs up if you like this video so far. So my top 3 are Hamilton, Verstappen and Ricciardo, with Leclerc and Vettel right behind, very, very close. Vettel can easily jump in if he has a string of good results. Leclerc as well, he's very, very close. But those are my top 3. Let me know if you agree, and let me know yours. As I said, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. And I wish you a great Formula One weekend. I'll be doing some analysis videos in the next coming days after qualifying, after the race. So stay tuned, check it out, and let's have some fun watching Formula One. And bye-bye.
I got myself into a little situation.